She has maybe 15 minutes before the steaks are ready and Walden starts demanding the chicken, because when he wants something, he expects to get it. She's here to cater to him, after all. Perhaps in private she can make her own demands, set her own limits, but he brooks no dissent on occasions such as this. She takes another sip of her martini and tells herself her feminine mystique is for her husband's eyes and ears only. Ginny's attention is snagged by the rasp of a lighter, and she looks up to see Judy put the flame to a cigarette in her mouth. So Ginny leans forward and asks how she is coping with her invalided husband. In response, Judy sucks in theatrically, eyebrows raised and lips pursed, and then expels smoke in a long plume over the table. The others laugh. It is all too easy to sympathize. They are Air Force wives. Ginny abruptly remembers days in Germany when Walden flew F-86D Sabrejets for the 514th Fighter Interceptor Squadron at Ramstein AFB. For all her open-mindedness, her hankering for new horizons, Ginny found Germany a difficult place in which to live. The contrast between life on the base and life outside, life in the U.S. and life in Europe, too stark, too marked for comfort. She was prolific during those 2 years. Her writing helped her cope. Walden calls out, "Hey, hun, chicken!" "No rest for the wicked," says Allison. Ginny gives an exaggerated sigh, drains the last of her martini, and then plucks the olive out of the glass. She pops it into her mouth before rising to her feet. Later, everyone has repaired to the lounge, and the radio is playing quietly in the background. Ginny is sitting on the floor at Walden's feet when he throws a newspaper down onto the coffee table and says to the other guys, "Have you seen this?" Bob leans forward and picks up the newspaper, that day's Los Angeles Times. "What am I looking at?" Bob asks. "NASA wants more astronauts," Walden tells him. Bob looks down at the front page and reads out, "NASA is looking for men. You must be a United States citizen, not over 36 years old, less than 6 feet tall, with a college degree in math or science, and with at least 1,000 hours flying time. If you meet all the requirements, then please apply." "Seriously?" asks Bob. "You thinking of putting your name in?" "Yeah," replies Walden. "They've put a dozen guys up so far, and the Soviets have launched about 10. They're top of the pyramid now, Bob." "You been keeping track?" asks Al, but his grin is a little too knowing. Ginny is as surprised as the guys. She didn't know Walden was interested in space. Walden has asked about the X-15 program, she knows that, but he has not been assigned to it. She hopes her husband applies to NASA, and she hopes he is successful. She likes the idea of being married to an astronaut. Certainly what she knows of space exploration she finds fascinating, and she'd welcome knowing what it's really like. Ginny reads and writes science fiction, stories about spaceships and alien worlds, but they're made up, invented. The Mercury program, the Gemini space capsule, they're real. Men have used them to orbit the Earth. They're actual in a way Ginny's stories can never be. The other wives at Edwards and their husbands, they don't know about Ginny's writing. She hides away the magazines when she has visitors. Female visitors, of course. The men simply don't see them, much as they don't see anything they consider of interest only to women. And she uses her maiden name as a byline, because she started sending letters to the magazines as a teenager and became known under that name. Ginny keeps her science fiction life separate and secret from her life as an Air Force wife. It's easier that way. But for all she knows, there may well be other subscribers to Galaxy and If and Worlds of Tomorrow at Edwards Air Force Base. Of course, life here is all about the menfolk, supporting them, providing a stable home life to succor them when they're not risking their lives. Perhaps that's why NASA insists on test pilots, or at the very least, jet fighter pilots, because their wives are trained to provide the stability the astronauts need in order to risk their lives publicly in such an untried endeavor. If so, then the joke is on NASA. Test pilot marriages fracture before test pilot nerves.